Morning, HPC. Knowing God means we must acknowledge our limitations. And we must resist the urge to make any kind of model, picture, or image of Him, because God is Spirit. So says Andrew Wilson in this chapter of his book Incomparable, about the truth that God the Father has no physical body. If, as Jesus says, that God is spirit and that we must worship that God in spirit and in truth, that has some significant implications for both how we think about Him and how we go about our worship of Him. As soon as we make an image, a picture of God, we limit His freedom. God is completely free. He is unbounded both by time and by physicality, geography, location. He's free to be everywhere at once, regardless of time or space. That's pretty mind-blowing, but it's a truth that is protected by the fact that He is spirit, that He has no body. As soon as we make an image of Him, we limit that freedom. We make Him somehow less than He is, and we begin to make Him more manageable. But here's the thing, as soon as we make an image of God the Father, we no longer are dealing with God the Father, because He is spirit. And so as soon as we've pictured Him, we've made another God. In 1 Samuel chapter 4, the Israelites thought that they would make God more manageable, that they had some kind of hold over Him by using a physical representation of Him, if you like. They were going into battle against the Philistines, and they took with them the Ark of the Covenant. God Himself had said it will be between the cherubim on the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant. That's where I will meet you. So they thought, well, if we take the Ark of the Covenant into battle with us, then God will have to fight for us and we'll win. They didn't. It was a disaster. As soon as we have a picture, an icon, a model, a statue that we meditate on, that we reverence, that we kiss, that we worship, that we bow before, then we're making an image out of God, and we're doing what shouldn't be done, because God is spirit. God does reveal Himself through an image. Jesus Christ, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 says, is the image of the invisible God. So what does that mean for us? Should I not send Christmas cards with a picture of the child Jesus on them? Should I not have a nativity scene in my home? Well, I don't think that. I know some Christians who do, but I don't think that that is what is being said here. I think that for the purposes of education, pictures of Jesus, who is the image of the invisible God, are legitimate. But that we mustn't worship icons. We mustn't pray to statues. We mustn't reverence or adore pictures of God who is spirit. If you like, I have a slightly confused view on this. I'm happy for children's story Bibles to depict Jesus, but I'm very, very cautious about wanting to depict God the Father in any way, and particularly in an adult setting. I suppose I might sum it up as depicting God as Jesus who is God, depicting Him in an educational setting I'm comfortable with, in a worship setting I'm much less comfortable with. You might want to come back to me on that confusion. It would probably help me sort things out in my mind. My concern for the way in which Jesus is depicted in lots of our children's storybooks is that it seems very culturally bound. He is depicted as a white man with blonde hair, and I think that that's hugely unhelpful. The fact that God is spirit is a challenge to us as we live in an increasingly visual age. And my children tell me they can communicate with their friends in a text message using only pictures, only emojis. I dispute whether they can communicate clearly doing that, but they maintain they can. And the temptation is that we will think, oh, this is a very visual age, Rory, therefore we must be visual. We will lose confidence in the God inspired word that he has given us. It's striking, isn't it, that throughout the Bible there is no record of what Jesus looks like. And even when we come to the book of Revelation and the exalted and glorified Christ is described, he's described in metaphor and allusion, lots of it drawn from the Old Testament. And it feels like the language itself is straining to contain the truth that is seeking to be described in those pictures. God is spirit. He's revealed himself in Jesus, the Word made flesh, and we mustn't lose confidence in that God-honoring word, the word that he has given us. Have a really good day, HPC.